We're going to show you how to use an ADU cost calculator today. It's a step-by-step tutorial updated in December 2020. The last time I did one of these in May. The interface has changed since then. A lot of new cities and counties have launched, so people have been asking for an updated tutorial. Let's get into it. First, you're going to scroll down on this video, and in the bottom of the description, I've got links to all three cost calculators. There's one for Napa-Sonoma, one for San Mateo County, and one for Marin County. If you're not in one of those places, because we don't all live in Marin County, just pick San Mateo, and I'll show you how to convert it at the end. Here we go. Using an ADU cost calculator is a great way to get a rough ballpark estimate of your project costs, and it's just one of many free tools, so why not use it? Let's agree to this complicated agreement. I promise I read it beforehand. And the first question is, where's your unit going to be built? And the reason they ask this is because costs vary both for labor and material from place to place. Like I said, if you're not in one of these places, that's okay. You can choose South San Francisco, and I'll show you how to convert it roughly at the end. The next question they're going to ask is, what type of construction? Because you can do a lot of different things. The options they give are converting part of an existing house, converting a garage. So that's like part of an existing house means it's already livable. It's already permitted living space. Converting a garage or a pool house or a carport, that means like it's not a weather-tight shell necessarily. There's a lot of work to do before it's a livable space. New construction, that's brand new construction, whether it's attached or detached, they put it in the same building, so no matter what, yeah, new construction. And modular, which is new construction, but it's built off site to some extent. So it's either a modular or panelized build that's delivered to the property. Most of my subscribers are doing new construction, so I'm going to use that, but you can pick your own. You can go through this tutorial with as many of the configurations as you want. Bedroom and bathroom is very intuitive. Studio means there's no independent bedroom, right? But most subscribers tend to ask for, they like the idea of a private bedroom in there, so they try to do at least one bedroom. Bathrooms, a half bath means it's not a full bath, so it might not have a shower or bathtub. It's just a toilet. So if you have like one or one and a half, these are often popular configurations. I'm going to put one. And then ADU square footage. They say one bedrooms are typically 600 square feet. That's true, I think, in my experience too. But you can modify it as much as you want. You pick whichever one you want. I'm going to put 650. No, I'm going to put 620. And you see it starts populating construction costs over here. Now, what I'll say is in the update, the government fees part has gotten pretty weird. It just shows 0. That's not accurate. So this is not an all-in cost, but it's still a good estimate of your hard costs and soft costs. So your hard costs, those are real construction costs of like building the actual building, right? And it's estimating $167,000 for this 620 square foot unit. And then your soft costs include architects and engineers and fees that go into your EDU project. And as you can see, it's a pretty chunky amount. So this is to set a realistic expectation that most people who are building a 620 square foot new construction unit, they're spending like $260K, right? And that's what these ballpark calculators are helpful for. They kind of give you an idea before you get too far into it, like how expensive this can be. As it says, no fee data is available this time between you and me and everybody on YouTube. If you're under 750 square feet, you're going to be immune from most impact fees, but you're still going to have some city and local agency fees. I'll link to some articles about fees in the description, but some jurisdictions have very light fee structures where you're just going to pay a couple thousand for the permits and inspections, and other jurisdictions have pretty hefty ones where even without the impact fees, you're paying some water connection charges or some other one-time fees that end up bringing this up to $10,000 to $20,000 or sometimes even higher. You're building a house, so there is a cost associated, and you should do some research. Just ask your planning department what kind of fees you should expect for your project. and tack that on to the estimate from this cost calculator. Okay, there's a next phase, and the button has been moved up. So you got to scroll back up and go to construction. Okay, now that you're on the construction tab, you say, yeah, use the construction cost calculator. Like, that's why we're here. Quality of construction. So this is, again, a little unintuitive. They let you choose between low cost, standard, and premium, but it's not like premium is lifestyles of the rich and famous. It's kind of assuming the high end of stuff that's available at big box stores. It's assuming some higher labor installation, like tile instead of linoleum or laminate. They throw, oh, that's a good example. They put in a custom cabinet maker as an example. For low cost, think like entry level at a big box store. Think, I'm renting this out, so my tenants might use it a little more aggressively, and I plan on replacing the carpet every few years. I plan on replacing the appliances when the warranty runs out. So you go with cheaper material that's easier to replace as a landlord. And standard is just more typically what you'd imagine. And there's some examples there: stainless steel appliances, solid countertops, mix of carpet and hardwood, or tile. Cool. For site condition, it's giving you, again, 3 options. I'm going to say, so typical is you've got a level site. It's flat. It's got a lot of access. So, construction trucks can come in. There's not a big problem parking and bringing material onto site. Some challenges is like, okay, well, there's some slope, which might make your foundation a lot more expensive, might mean you need a survey or a geotech report. There's some additional services like that. And then also, like, maybe there's some parking problems. Like if you're living on like a narrow street in El Cerrito, it's different than if you're in a big open plain in unincorporated Sonoma County. Yeah. Difficult assumes like, all right, we're dealing with some slope, some grade. Maybe there's some vehicle access issues. Assumes water and rocks. So like big rocks that would make pouring foundation hard or excavating hard, or a stream or something that you gotta do special work to be in line with code because you're so close to it. And then septic system. This is because a lot of unincorporated lots where you think it's cheap to build an ADU, you're on a septic, and then it automatically becomes expensive. Look, if I tick this box, it's going to give me a big fat warning. It just says, hey, this is hard to estimate, so be careful. But I'll get a good public sewer. Okay. All right. And you can kind of toggle between some of these and say, well, if I went low cost rental stuff, what's the difference? Oh, it's like $50K. If I went on a challenging lot, okay, it goes back up to $250. If it's a really hard hillside lot, oh geez, all right, I'm above 300 now. Premium hillside, $464, right? So that's $500,000 almost. We're talking about a real project, right? You had a septic system issue, and suddenly it could be up to $500,000. Okay, so most people are on flat lots with relatively easy access. You know if that's not true about yourself. Most people choose something in the middle, right? And you end up with about $258K. No fees included in that. So probably tack on like another 10, 15,000, depending on your jurisdiction. But there you go. You're up around 260, maybe 280 with the fees and stuff. And that's a rough ballpark for what it would cost in South San Francisco. If you want to convert, then you go back to the video description, and I'll have a link to a spreadsheet right here that will take you here. And what I've done is I've put in the averages for different cities using RS means in relationship to South San Francisco. So let's say you're down near Stockton. You might want to say, all right, what's the cost in Stockton? You take the cost that it gave you, $258,000 in the example we just looked at, and you multiply it by 91.5%. And that's about the relative difference between Stockton and South San Francisco. Because Stockton is less expensive than South San Francisco. On the other hand, if you're in Oakland, you would multiply it by 102.8% because it's a little more expensive than South San Francisco. Did you know that? Yeah, Oakland's actually more expensive than south of the peninsula. Um, it's one of the most expensive places to build. If you're in Los Angeles, which is where a lot of my viewers are, then you're down 83.2% because labor is much cheaper down in Los Angeles. So this is all based on averages compiled by RS Means. You can research more about that here if you're interested. But it's a basic ready reckoner to kind of reconcile like what your costs are if you're not in San Francisco. Yeah. And if you need to learn more about estimating ADU costs, I'm going to put a video link up there with other strategies to estimate ADU costs. And then if you want to learn more, just subscribe to the channel. I'll bring more information to you whenever it's available. Let's build some more housing in California.